Hello and welcome to the latest episode of NPC. That stands for Next Portable Console. It's a show about the games we take with us with so many handhelds that we have. And we're going to talk about those. It's not just going to be me, though, talking about those handhelds. Yeah. I'm also joined by John Voorhees. Hello, John.
Hey, Federico. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And, of course, Brendon Bigley's here. Hello, Brendon.
I'm inundated. I have too many handhelds. I don't know what to do with myself.
And yet, you found the time to do a quick video about the Animal Crossing update.
Yes, I did that so fast, Federico. I did it so quickly.
And yet, I was just making myself a coffee, and I opened Instagram, and I saw that there was a video by Brendon on Animal Crossing. So it's the gang is all here, and we're going to talk about handhelds. We're going to talk about the Ayn Thor, which we all have collectively as a group at this point.
Yeah.
Brendon also has an MCon controller that we are going to cover on NPC XL for our Patreon subscribers. There it is. I have so many questions about that too.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I have so many thoughts.
I'm so
about
jealous.
The Thor.
So jealous of the MCon.
Yes. Before we get to all these handhelds, and there's also the Miyu Mini Flip, there's all kinds of stuff happening. We have some follow-up, I think, before we get to that. We gotta talk about Retroid, I think. We left last week's episode with these teasers from Retroid about why wait for the future, for time travel, the future is now. And we sort of guessed that it was going to be the Retroid Pocket 6.
Yeah.
It was the Retroid Pocket 6, but also something else. So they announced two handhelds, the Retroid Pocket G2 and the Pocket 6. But there's a bit of drama going on, especially with the Pocket 6. So the Pocket G2, this is a, shall we call it an entry level, maybe? So it's using the G line of gaming optimized chips by Qualcomm.
Right.
And this is a 5.5 AMOLED 1080p display using the G2. Comes in multiple colorways, gold plus, is that what they call it? Gold plus, gold and silver. No, those are the that's the processor. How many colors does this one have?
It's all the same as the Retroid Pocket 5 because it's the Retroid Pocket 5 with a new chip in it, basically.
Right. So this is the Retroid Pocket 5 with the G2 5,000 mAh battery, running Android 15. So that's nice.
Yeah.
16 hertz device. 16 hertz screen too, worth mentioning, I think.
Yeah.
Since that's a difference.
Active cooling.
The first device with the G2 as well. Like no other device has the G2 in it yet, which is kind of wild that it's debuting on a Retroid.
Yeah, it comes in GameCube color, yellow, turquoise, black, and 16-bit. Retails for $199 right now on the Retroid website. And looks pretty nice. I mean, it's basically a Retroid Pocket 5 with an updated system on a chip. Now, the Retroid Pocket 6, this is where the controversy lies, in that they announced this handheld launching in early 2026 with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So the same chip that's in the Odin 2 family of devices, for example. Really popular chipset. The problem has been the reception to the design of the Retroid Pocket 6, in that it kind of looked from the original announcement, like a mix of I want to say like a Retroid Pocket 5, and I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a PS Vita.
I was going to say a Vita for sure.
With these buttons at the bottom of the display for home, back, M1, and M2, and the speakers alongside these buttons.
All in a row, like a narrow strip.
All in a row, like a narrow strip. Like, I don't know, it's reminding me of something. I don't know what it is, but it's like this strip of rectangular short buttons.
To me, the vibe that I got was the sloth from Ice Age with his like big eyes on top, and then he has like the mouth with all the teeth. The buttons in a line all looked like just like a
bunch of
weird
teeth.
Smiling face. Yeah.
That is oddly specific.
If you look at the yellow one too, it looks like the bullets in Enter the Gungeon. It's
bizarre.
It
does a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a bizarre device. I will say that of the original design, I'll say for now, John and I were just talking about this before we started recording. I love the silver one. Like nobody's doing silver plastic anymore. It has like a real like Y2K era feel to it that I like really love. I didn't really get the blowback about the design here. It feels like one of those things that just like 3 people who are tastemakers in the community decided it looked bad, and then everyone kind of jumped in on that. But hey, if people don't like it, people don't like it.
Yeah, I think the thing that started it was the row of buttons, and then people piled on with the stick positions because there's quite a few people, myself included.
That feels more legit to me. That's like a real
who don't like it, don't like them both, aligned along the bottom edge, and would rather have them offset, with the stick on the left stick on the top. But
I gotta say, I personally agree with all the criticism.
Do you?
Yes, I'm sorry. I really dislike the buttons at the bottom. Kind of reminds me, I don't know, of some like cheap laptop for some reason, with these plasticky buttons underneath the display.
It's like a cassette recorder or something.
Thank you. That's what it is.
The vibe, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. It's like an old VCR, like those.
I don't know, any of that stuff.
Yes, thank you, John. That's what my brain was thinking of.
Yeah.
The funny thing too is like, I think the bigger thing probably, Federico, if I had to guess, is because the Retroid Pocket 5 was such a kind of forward-thinking device from an aesthetic perspective, having something that feels more like a gaming handheld in some ways feels like a step backwards instead of a step forwards, especially when the teaser is why wait for the future.
Exactly.
Yes.
There was that contrast between why wait for the future's now, and then you show off this handheld with this like 80s vibes with this, buttons. I don't know. I really didn't like it, and I continue to dislike personally the D-pad at the top. I'm a D-pad at the bottom person.
Yeah.
Well, let me hit you with an update that Retroid tweeted literally like 30 minutes ago.
Okay. I was gonna get to those,
more.
but I guess there's another one. Okay.
This is why it's not on the site anymore.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for all your feedback and most importantly, your patience. We would like to introduce the new Retroid Pocket 6. For the first time, we will offer the option to choose if you'd like the D-pad or left stick on top.
Whoa.
The M1 and M2 buttons have been relocated to the back. There will be further communication announced when pre-orders open up again soon.
That's crazy. They're a very reactionary company
and there
to
are
the community.
Pictures. There are pictures. There's a picture. Okay, now I gotta tell you, now I like it. Now I think now I like it. Now, oh man, look at the silver one. Huh. Okay.
The silver one looks nice. I agree.
Now that I'm looking at it, the silver one,
there's
a configuration for D-pad at the bottom, D-pad at the top. I really like it. I have done a complete 180 on this one, and that was thanks to the crowdsourcing of the design.
Now
everyone knows that designing by committee is always the way to go. Famously, that's the best way to design a product.
I think the problem here really is that they're now going to be making both. I think that potentially is these are not big companies, and that seems like switching gears and redesigning the entire case and button layout at the last minute. I don't know.
It's great for consumers and terrible for Retroid, would be my guess, right? Like, I'm sure internally it's a nightmare, and then externally everyone gets what they want. So I guess that's...
I bet it gets delayed, though. It was going to be like middle of January.
Ooh, have you seen the orange one?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Sid from Ice Age anymore.
I really like this now. It looks very comfortable, very rounded grips.
It's very rounded. The whole thing's very rounded.
So this will be essentially an Odin 2, slightly smaller, made by Retroid.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's only $10 more than the Pocket G2. So, I think there's I don't know why you would get the G2 if the prices stick and it's only $10 more. You're getting a lot more for that $10 because you're getting 120 hertz screen, you're getting 1,000 milliamp hour battery, more of battery on it, and a bunch of other stuff. Wi-Fi 7.
What's the RAM on this? It's 12 gigs also?
Is it 12 or do they give you a choice?
No, I think it's 8.
It's 8 or 12. I think they give you a choice.
They give you a choice. They give you a choice.
So that means
it's a full
$100 plus cheaper than the Odin 2 Mini.
Yeah.
Which would be the most comparable device, I think. And it has an OLED screen on it. So I think in most cases, like, there goes any recommendation for the Odin 2 Mini.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was going to say, like, if you're looking for a sub 6-inch display, this will be the next top recommendation, assuming that everything is going to be fine with this handheld when it launches. But yes, in that sort of range of display sizes, this is the next best option, I guess.
Yeah. As somebody who's like too plugged into this stuff, as we all are, there is a piece of me that's like, it feels too soon for the Retroid Pocket 6 still, and this upgrade is exciting, don't get me wrong, but like it doesn't feel like a big enough leap. That said, if I was recommending devices to people who are like new to the scene or don't have a Retroid or anything like this is an obvious purchase. It's like such an obvious slam dunk as long as everything comes out and like works.
Right, because like last year I remember getting the Retro Pocket 5, and because it didn't have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, it had the 865.
Right.
I really liked it, but I was running into all kinds of performance issues with high-end emulation, upscaling GameCube to 3x. You just couldn't do it on that CPU. So this is interesting now.
I'm a little bit obsessed with the fact that the G2 has Bluetooth 5.4, but the Pocket 6 has 5.3. That seems like a weird thing to me.
That is weird.
That just must be the connectivity chipset they have for Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. But you would think that they would standardize these things across their line just for cost reasons.
You would think that, and you'd be wrong.
They're giving the better Bluetooth to the cheaper device. I don't get it at all.
Yeah. Well, things have taken a turn, I guess, with this Retroid announcement. It's been now we're summarizing here because we are essentially 1 week removed from all the drama, but there was a lot of drama on X,
and there may be more drama before this episode comes out. It's very likely.
There may be more on Discord. There were multiple polls with people to decide the colors and the buttons and the stick placement. So it's been a whole thing.
That Discord server is a wild ride. I just love going in there and seeing all the people. There's drama almost every week.
Yeah. Okay. Now that being said, we are going to be talking about the Ayn Thor that we all have. We're gonna show them off on video. I think this episode will be a good time if you've just been listening to NPC to watch the video version of NPC on YouTube, because you get that additional context from the hardware that we show off. And this is a particularly hardware focused episode of NPC, so the video version is nice. But before we get to that, I think we wanted to take a little sponsor break and talk about some of the accessories for the Nintendo Switch 2 by JSAUX.
We got sponsored, baby.
We got sponsors. We're making making big money.
We've all quit our jobs.
Well, wait. Isn't that the
Mac Stories is gone?
Okay.
I'm not doing any other podcasts.
Wow.
It's just NPC. Thanks,
sucks,
JSAUX.
That sucks, John. Well, okay.
Didn't mean for that to happen.
But yes, we did receive some accessories from JSAUX. And John, can you run through the list of all the gear that we've been testing?
Yeah, so we've been testing a bunch of different things. The ones that I thought we would talk about today are the Energy Flow, which is a Joy-Con charging dock that Federico is going to show off. Do you want to show it off there, Federico?
Yes. Okay. So this is a charging station that you can see is plugged into USB-C right now.
Right.
And it's got fancy gamer LEDs that I can turn off if I want to. And it can charge magnetically up to 4 Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons at once. And you just put it in like this, and there's a room for 2 more in the back.
Yep.
And it's very minimal, very elegant, I gotta say. It's a simple rectangular shaped object.
I like how compact it is because it's easy.
Very compact.
You can tuck it away somewhere.
Very compact. Feels pretty good. It's got a soft base at the bottom, soft touch rubber thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
I am not too keen on the RGBs, so I'm glad that I can just turn them off if I want to. And I think it's like a very practical solution to a problem that Nintendo itself hasn't really fully acknowledged with their charging solutions for the Joy-Cons. And there's been plenty of third-party options for the Switch 1. This is one of the first ones that I've seen for the Switch 2. It's simple enough, works well. I really have no complaints. It just does the job super well. And it's not like... I've seen some of these charging stations that are like a whole thing that you got to put on your nightstand or put on your desk. this is just a simple shape where you just attach the Joy-Cons and you're done.
Yep. I thought I would talk, Federico, a little bit about the Joyverse dual Joy-Con grip. This, I'm going to hold it up. This is kind of a triangular shaped grip for your Joy-Con. They attach magnetically, just like they did in the charging thing that Federico showed off. There's USB-C on the top, so you can charge them with this, and you can also play with it plugged in. And it comes with a pair of these grips that you put on the back. Now, what I like about these grips compared to some of the other ones I've tried before is that they're fully behind the Joy-Con. They don't stick out to the sides, so it doesn't make the switch a lot wider, which I think is a really nice thing. Plus, as you can probably see on camera, it's got a nice texture to it. It's a hard plastic texturing, which it's just about the right size too. I really like this one that I'm using.
These are the grips. I've tested many grips for the Nintendo Switch too.
I have too. I have mine all over the place.
Honestly, not because they're a sponsor. These are my favorite ones. They strike the nicest balance of like not sticking out from the sides, but also being contoured enough, like rounded enough for my hands. I've been playing Pokemon Legends ZA for hours with these grips, and it's
nice.
They're very nice. I don't get I always get that sort of like after a couple of hours, like that pain in my wrist and here in the middle of like the palm of my hand, especially when consoles are so flat that I don't have any shape to sort of accommodate for that. And with these grips, it's been very nice.
Yeah, I've been really happy with them too. I think the last thing we want to talk about is the RGB docking station, which we've actually been using for a lot longer than the accessories that Federico and I mentioned. And I know
it's been like a year, it feels like.
Yeah, I think so too. And JSAUX sent those to us last year. And I think of the three of us, probably Brendon's been using it the most because it's kind of got a permanent spot under his TV in his living room. What is it about it that you like, Brendon? Because the one thing that's worth noting is that JSAUX makes a whole line of these RGB docking stations. They have different numbers of ports on them. The one that we're using is the 12-in-1, which has a lot more ins and outs for it.
Yeah, that's really the key at the end of the day. I mean, because what I was using before was just, a standard USB-C dongle that I bought off Amazon from some, like some random company. But having a specific device that just feels like, again, permanently affixed under my TV, that I always have the ROG Ally X plugged into for the most part, along with a couple controllers here and there. I have two 8-bit-do controllers that I have plugged in at all times as well. So at any moment, I can just take it off the charging station and then, be playing single player or multiplayer, which is really fun. It just works. And that's exactly what I always wanted, where I feel like everything else is a little bit more fiddly. Like having a USB-C dongle with a bunch of other stuff streaming off of it, just, not very good cable management.
Yeah, no, it's kind of messy. I think the other thing about that dock that I like a lot is the little drawer that kind of pulls out from the front. So it can accommodate a lot of different shaped devices. You're using the Ally X, but it works just as well with the Steam Deck and other things as well.
Yeah. When I was using the Steam Deck full time, it felt great with the Steam Deck in that drawer. With the Ally X, because I have the D-brand kill switch on it, I flip out the kickstand and I prop the kickstand up on top of the docking station.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of sits in front, and then sometimes the RGB lights will be on, and it kind of like creates this weird like glowing halo effect around the Ally, which is fun.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, I think that's it for the sponsorship today. Thanks a lot to JSAUX for sponsoring this episode. You can go to jsau.com to learn more about the things that we've been talking about. I will include links to each one of these individual things in the show notes too. But jsau.com, that's JSAUX.com. Thanks to them for sponsoring NPC this week.
Can I give them some added value? One more quick shout out.
Go for it.
This cable that they gave John and I at CES, it's a braided USB-C cable.
It's a white USB-C cable about 1 meter long, and it's really nice.
What is it? I forget the exact specs of it, but oh my God, is it a lifesaver? I use it every single day. I'm obsessed with it. Thank you so much, JSAUX.
I think you can buy those on their site too. They have all kinds of cables and things on there. So I'm sure you can find the white cable.
Nice. Okay. That being said, shall we talk about this?
I can't believe this happened. I can't believe you got yours and I got mine. I can't believe it all is real. It's
all finally
amazing
come together.
That we're here.
Okay. I don't know where to begin.
You're playing Dragon Quest 11 on it, first of all.
I am playing Dragon Quest 11.
I am too, finally.
let me say this up front. I love this thing so much. Saying that it's a little dream come true, like an Android-based clamshell with great performance that actually works the way I want to. What I was not expecting, or maybe part of me was sort of hoping remotely that it would be the case, I've been using this kind of Android console as a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I have played
Same.
so many hours this week of Ball Pit, Megabonk, Trails in the Sky first chapter, and picking up my post game of Dragon Quest XI again, exclusively using Game Hub on the Ayn Thor, and I realized I'm using this is a little Steam machine on Android, and I can play these games with pretty great performance on a device that is a clamshell that Valve will realistically never make.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how I approach this. I haven't installed anything else. I have just played PC games in emulation mode.
Wait, you've done nothing but play PC
I have
games?
done nothing else. I only have.
You don't have Asahar on there?
No, I only
That's
have.
awesome.
I
That's so
only
good.
have Game Hub installed, and I couldn't put it down.
Dude, you
Yes.
invented a new brand for yourself, and you are sticking to it, my friend. I'm so proud of you.
Windows on Android.
Yeah.
This has led to some thoughts that I'll save for the end. But yeah, and I love the dual screen for that, for keeping performance stats at the bottom.
It's so helpful.
For this may sound silly, but like the dual screens for multitasking. So when I was logging into a whole bunch of services, including Steam, but also Google Chrome and the Play Store and all of that, keeping one password on the bottom screen to quickly copy my usernames and passwords and pasting them on the top screen has been like, it kind of
or even just opening up the settings, the Android settings, and getting to something that's not in a quick menu somewhere, right?
Yes. It kind of reminded me of the dearly beloved Microsoft Surface Duo.
Yeah, dude.
That had two separate screens. And it was like, yeah, it's a foldable, but really you're juggling apps between multiple actual physically separate displays.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's got some of that feeling, but with a more obviously gaming specific angle. And I have been just floored by, and I know that you guys have had a different experience, so I want to have a conversation about that. I have been using, I'm going to describe my experience. I get the delivery from DHL for the Ayn Thor, set it up, did the first software update, signed into the Google Play Store, my Google account and everything, downloaded Game Hub 5.2 from the website, logged into Steam, started downloading games, and everything just kept working like that. And, I moved from Ball Pit to Megabonk to Trails in the Sky. I downloaded a bunch more that I still haven't tested, but I've just been floored by the simplicity of it all and the performance. Like, I've been able to play Trails in the Sky, which is a new game. It's a 2025 game at 1080p, low settings, 50 frames per second. On an Ayn Thor.
You got up to 50? I was keeping it at 30 when I was playing.
I got up to 50. I've been playing Dragon Quest 11, which is an older game, and it's not maybe as optimized as a modern game. Dragon Quest at a solid 30 FPS, sometimes well into the 40 if you reduce some of the graphic settings. Ball Pit and Megabonk have been perfect, essentially.
Yeah, they've been super smart.
I cannot believe that this is real, honestly.
Yeah. I'm waiting 30 minutes. Oh, I don't have my watch on. 30 minutes at the time of this recording for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 Remake to launch on Steam also. Because Dragon Quest 3 Remake works perfectly, flawlessly, at least on the Ayn Mini that I originally tested it on, which makes me think that the 1 and 2 Remake in the same engine is always also going to run perfectly on the Thor as soon as I boot that up. I'm very excited for that because I'm going on a trip like right after we're done recording, and that's going to be where I play that, which I think is going to be sick. For my piece on the Game Hub of it all, I weirdly had a lot of issues on the Thor when I first started using it. I did everything exactly the same way I did it on the Odin 2 Mini, which, same chipset, same mostly everything. Like, it feels like it should have just been a one-to-one experience. And it kind of wasn't. Like Ball Pit, for example, wouldn't even start at first. And I went over to my Odin Mini and I was like, are these settings right? And they were exactly the same, but I couldn't get anything to run. And I don't know what happened, but eventually I just deleted, I uninstalled every game that I had installed. I deleted GameHub Lite. I re-downloaded it again from GitHub, reinstalled it, reinstalled all my games, and now it's working better.
In Lite, you're using Lite?
Yeah, I'm using Lite.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I've had the same kind of weird experience, but in the official GameHub app, because I can't get Ball Pit to work on the official app. Every game that I download seems to have something wrong with the left stick. I deleted it, reinstalled it, still a problem. I moved to GameHub Lite, and everything's working fine there for the most part. Now, I've pushed it, and I've tried like Yakuza 0. I tried downloading that. That got about 5 seconds into the opening cutscene and kicked me out.
Crashed, yeah.
Yeah, but that's... that's a more modern game, I suppose, or like a more of a load on the system. And all these games, it should be said that they're all running the CPU at like 100% all the time. Ball Pit, no matter what the game is, no matter how heavy duty the game is, it is running the CPU at 100%.
God forbid you're also charging the Thor at the same time. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but if you charge this device at all, the temperature like skyrockets, which is fascinating. It doesn't even matter like at what speed you're charging it. I've tried it with fast chargers and also very slow, like terrible chargers.
Yeah, it does
always
get warm.
Cranked. Yeah, it's amazing.
It does get warm. And last night when I was downloading Dragon Quest, I did try cranking up the fan to see if that, because when you're downloading, it tends to get really hot too. And I wanted to see if that would make a difference. Didn't make much of a difference. I don't know how good that active cooling really is in the Thor. I kind of wonder about it a little bit because I was at 86 degrees the whole time. And I don't know. So I don't know. There's this weird thing where I don't know if what's happening is GameHub is interfering with other apps that I have on the device, or maybe it's the memory footprint given what I had been playing before. And, it could be something with GameHub. It could be something with Android. It could be something with the games I'm trying to play. But certain games I know should work well. The ones like Federico has had a good experience with, like Ball Pit and Mega Bonk and all those. And the regular GameHub just isn't working for me. So I'm going to try a few more things. I think what I'm going to do is what you said, Brendon, that I didn't do is I did not uninstall all my games before I deleted the app. So maybe I'll try that. Maybe that'll help a little bit.
Let me put a call out to our listeners because I've been trying to figure this out. If you can figure out how to, in the the fake desktop, because you can launch into just like a Windows desktop from GameHub. If you can figure out how to delete games from within that, please let me know. I think you may need to root your Android device to be able to do that, which I don't want to do, obviously. No. But that was a huge issue because I was trying to play a game called Slots and Daggers, and I think the install got messed up. Like it didn't work, and it wouldn't let me uninstall it either.
Oh.
It wouldn't let me boot into it, wouldn't let me uninstall it. I couldn't find the game files, so there was like nothing I could do. Yeah. And I think even after I deleted GameHub, I think those files are still on my device somewhere because I never got that space back, which is troubling.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with GameHub. It's unintuitive in some ways. It took me a while to dig around and find out how I could actually access a keyboard, for instance, and I realized, it's in the sidebar.
It's in the sidebar menu. Yeah. I did also try Game Native with Hades 2 just to see. It worked fine, but the big difference between Game Native and GameHub is the amount of like tweaking you need to do because a lot of GameHub stuff is kind of essentially every game you download, as long as it has the green check mark on it, it's kind of pre-configured to just like run kind of out of the box. And you'll probably need to go into the like in-game settings to change some stuff to get it to work for your specific device, but it'll like boot. Game Native is not that way at all. Like every game, you're going to need to tweak a bunch of stuff on the front end. And then when you get in game, you also need to tweak a bunch of stuff. So I spent like a good, 30 minutes yesterday, probably just getting Hades 2 to run. And then when I did, it worked and that was cool. But, it's nothing like playing it on GameHub where you just download it and it just boots basically immediately.
Yeah, Hades 2, I had no problem with at all getting it to immediately download and work. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, these things are early days. It'll get better over time, I think. And it is... I mean, I've definitely been testing the limits because I'm not just sticking to the green checkmark games. I've been trying basically everything up and down the spectrum, from games from 10 years ago to things that came out this year.
Yeah.
I assume you guys have also been testing DS and 3DS, unlike me.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been using Azahar, I've been using Citra MMJ, and I've been using Melon DS. All three, honestly, great. Melon DS in particular, like, this chip is overkill for Nintendo DS. It really does the job. You can bump it up to like 8x resolution if you want to, and it's going to work just fine. I have it set to 4 because I find that at a certain point, I kind of disagree, I think, with a lot of people who I've seen online talking about this stuff. But like, I think when you get over a certain threshold with boosting the in-game resolution of Nintendo DS games, they start to look like weird. Like they start to look like it just doesn't match, like, especially because the pixel art and a lot of the UI elements won't upscale because they're just like static images in a lot of cases. When you're blending that with like a perfect pixelized version of Mario in his race car, it looks super weird. So I kind of like purposefully keep it kind of lower, but it works really well. And I will say I've been using the Nintendo Switch 2 stylus that I mentioned, I think in last week's episode or the one before that. And I've been testing a lot of games that like specifically need the bottom screen and touch input just to see. So like Kirby Canvas Curse, is that the one? Or is it, I forget the name of it.
Have you tried Rhythm Heaven?
I tried Rhythm Heaven. I tried Elite Beat Agents. I didn't really have any issues with any of them. I know that some people have talked about the input latency.
Yeah, especially for rhythm games, I know that some people have had issues.
I'll say this. It is there, but it didn't take me too long to get used to it. And I think that's the bigger thing, is like, is the latency there? Unequivocally, yes. But as long as you have the ability to play the game for more than 5 minutes, I think your brain will start to adjust to that latency, and you'll start to get better at, compensating for it. The same way you would with, like a Bluetooth controller playing on your television or something. So I haven't had too many issues with that, and I've been really honestly surprised at the accuracy of the stylus on the bottom screen. And then same thing on 3DS. I've had the exact same experience. I've tried things like, I'm trying to think of, Animal Crossing, or like drawing emblems in Mario Kart and stuff like that. Like, honestly, it all just kind of works and works really well. I haven't had too many issues. Like, the issues that I've had here and there are issues that you'll have on basically any device running 3DS games. But this one has 2 screens, so it's immediately better. Like, just across the board, it immediately is better. So I think, I got the device yesterday, so it's been early days for me, definitely. So I'm really, really, really going to put it through its paces this weekend when I take it with me on this trip. But just like booting into everything and seeing if it works, it all works. And that's also including every other device you could imagine. So like Wii U and everything below that basically has all been totally fine. I've jumped into GeForce Now and done some game streaming. Like, everything works fine. The biggest thing for me, and I'm curious how you both feel about this, because you both also played Ball Pit. The biggest thing for me, because I don't have the grip, and I know you don't have the grip yet, Federico, I find the dual stick movement to be uncomfortable. I just don't think it feels good.
It's hard.
After a little while, I get, especially in my right hand, a little bit of pain.
Same.
But to be honest, I was also playing like after 90 minutes,
Yeah.
Because without the grip, it's a very flat console, right?
Yeah.
It has rounded edges, but it's a very flat console. And especially with my right thumb, I have to reach down to the
Reaching
stick.
down is the problem, I think.
Reaching down, and it's recessed, so it's even more of an effort. And so I am looking forward to the grip. For sure.
Did we all get different colors, by the way?
We
Mine is
did.
white.
I got rainbow.
You got rainbow. You got white. I got the black one.
Oh, nice.
Here's the reflection of you guys.
Let me see.
Let
me see. Hello.
I will say the black one, unreal when playing DS and 3DS games, because of the way screen scaling works on the bottom screen. You just don't see the black bars at all.
Right.
It's awesome. It's so beautiful. Obviously, it picks up fingerprints like wild. But,
even the rainbow one does. I mean, I still end up poking at the screen even though I've got the stylus. One thing, I know you asked Brendon last week was about whether that bottom screen can be shifted up. When I watched Russ's video. He has a setup video, And it can be, but you lose touch sensitivity in the bottom screen, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I didn't do that either. I did scale it down so it kind of fits a little bit better, but I still have touch input, and it's great, especially on the black one, just because you can't see the bars anyway.
Right,
so
right.
Beautiful.
Since we talked last week, well, the thing that I've been doing more of is playing GeForce Now, and since this thing has Wi-Fi 7 and I've got a Wi-Fi 7 router, that has been just like flawless. It's been absolutely fantastic. The Game Hub stuff I've been doing mainly for those Steam games that aren't available on GeForce Now, which is a lot of them. But there are also a lot of them that aren't ultimately going to work very well on Game Hub either, just because they're too big a load for the emulation.
Yeah, I really want to. I started playing Power Wash Simulator 2 yesterday.
Wow.
For a video for my Patreon, and I was like, that's going to be the perfect Game Hub game if I can get that on there. I haven't tried it yet, but it's one of the things I'm going to download before I leave today.
So the more I played, the more I sort of kept reaching this conclusion. I love this console, and
Yeah.
I popped in my SD card. I am gonna set it up with, I think, emulation station for DS, 3DS, and all that sort of retro gaming emulation library that I have. But at the same time, the Thor made me realize that I made the right decision in getting the Odin 3 Ultra.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah,
Because
so right.
if I want to use these handhelds, these Android handhelds for Steam PC gaming, I am gonna need all the performance I can possibly get.
Yeah, you really will.
And so I was keeping an eye on the stats when I was playing, especially Trails in the Sky or even Dragon Quest. Like you are pushing the CPU 100%. Like never lets
It never
lets
dips
up.
down at
Never dips
any
down.
of these games.
GPU, it depends. With these systems, they basically have an architecture that is very similar to Apple Silicon in that everything is on the same die, everything is sort of sharing resources together.
Yeah.
So you do see some tasks being handed to the GPU.
Yeah.
But and the RAM consumption actually has been pretty decent. I've never seen RAM go to 100%.
Yeah, it's been fine. Yeah.
It's been essentially Game Hub and all emulators, really. They are always going to be CPU bound because that's what that's where the instructions are coming from. They're coming from the
Right.
CPU. So a CPU at 100% means that it's reached its limit. And you can try and squeeze, performance out of it by adjusting settings, but there's a ceiling, right? There's a ceiling and you cannot go past that because you're pushing the CPU to all the cores that it has, all the gigahertz that it can be clocked at. That's it. And so I was thinking, well, with the Odin 3 Ultra, moving from a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, that is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times more powerful than the 8 Gen 2, and double the RAM and a faster GPU in that process, that's going to be, I have a feeling that's going to be pretty sweet for Game Hub. Because you're going to, that console is going to raise the ceiling of what you can do with performance that is CPU bound while you just got a much, much better CPU. And so as a result, I think that's going to be my, it feels kind of absurd to say, but I think the Odin 3 is going to be my Steam Deck.
It's going to open up more of your library, basically. I mean, the stuff that Brendon and I have been struggling with, you're going to probably be able to do. Yakuza 0, I would think would be, that's what I'd start
You would
testing.
at least run. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably.
I'm curious, how do you guys feel about concerns about the longevity of these devices if you're maxing out the CPU at all times? That's the thing that I'm more concerned about is if I'm playing Game Hub all the time and it's always running at 100% and heating up the device.
That's a good question.
I'm worried about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
These chips were made for phones, and phones are not supposed to run at 100% CPU all the time.
For extended periods of time, too. That's the other thing.
Sustained performance, right? They have active cooling, so that should help. I don't know. But realistically speaking, and I know that I shouldn't say this, we're not going to keep these devices for 2 years, right? And I know that is I'm just trying to be realistic. I know that for
given that we have this show, I think you're very,
for the audience,
very right.
Exactly, because we do the podcast, right? All these things that we fall in love with, they're just a moment in time. All these things... No. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Hey, you're right.
We fall
It's
in
true.
love many times with many pieces of hardware, and then we move on to the next thing. But for that moment in time, that can be 2-3 months, I don't know. It's beautiful and it's perfect. And we continue to push at the boundaries of the bleeding edge and what's possible. I am fully aware that this is because we do this for a living. It's different for the audience.
Yeah.
So that is an absolutely fair question to ask. They're probably not going to last like a Steam Deck 5+ years when the Steam Deck 2 comes out. Let's be realistic. That's going to happen. So keep that in mind when you purchase these consoles. Yeah.
When is your Odin 3 coming, Federico? What's the delivery on those things? Do you know?
Wasn't that supposed to be November?
I thought it was supposed to be towards the end of the year. Yeah, like November, maybe early December.
Yeah. Somewhere in my mind, there's November, late November. Maybe I'm making this up. Late November.
Yeah.
It was before the end of the year, for sure.
Okay.
If it can be, before Christmas, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good holiday break project. Testing all those games.
I have a Steam. If I were a YouTuber, I would have so much fun saying, "This is my next Steam Deck," and it's actually an Android device. That would be.
Then you'd make a good face on your thumbnail.
Or like a silhouette, like a black silhouette of the console. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, with a big question mark in the middle.
Yes.
Shipping starts end of November, by the way, is what it says.
End of
on
November. Okay.
the
End of
website.
Okay, so I get it.
Yeah, you only got a month to go.
Yeah. Well, that's for the Ayn Thor this week.
Yeah.
In NPC XL, we're gonna quiz. We're gonna ask all kinds of questions to Brendon about the MCon, the highly anticipated snap-on controller that also flips up for smartphones. Brendon did a first impression unboxing videos on the NPC channel a few nights ago. I knew that I woke up at 8:30 a.m. and I checked Discord and there was a video about the MCon in our channel. I was very surprised. And now we get to ask Brendon some questions about it. So that's for our Patreon members. $5 a month and you can get a whole extra episode of NPC every week, in fact. So pretty good deal.
It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Bargain.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, folks. That's it for this episode of NPC. You can find us all online. Brendon's over at wavelengths.online, and Federico and I are at macstories.net. Plus, all three of us are on social media. Just search for our names. You'll find us there. That's it for this week. We're on to NPC XL. Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.